Hey everyone, here's my review of Intimidator 305 at King's Dominion in Virginia. I-305 opened in 2010, and it is one of only 3 Intamin giga coasters. It has a top speed of 90 miles per hour, a max drop of 305 feet, a cable lift hill, and no inversions. In this review, I'm going to go over the layout and theming and rank the ride out of 10 based on these 4 categories: intensity, ride smoothness, duration, and fun factor. So let's start with the layout. As you dispatch from the station, you can hear the iconic
"Gentlemen, start your engines!"
Then you shoot up to your max height of 305 feet via cable lift. I like this cable lift, but part of me wishes that it would go slower so you can take in the views from that height. Without realizing you've hit the top, I-305 throws this massive drop at an 85-degree angle at you. By no means is this drop bad, but it feels short and kind of underwhelming for a roller coaster this size. I much prefer Steel Dragon 2000's drop to this, which feels like it lasts forever. I haven't gotten a back row ride yet, but when I do, my opinion will probably change. Then you enter the blackout turn. And this element is so stupidly intense that everyone riding will get a guaranteed gray out. To this day, this is the only ride I've needed to sit down after riding. It's that intense. Just to show how intense this turn is, riders experience 4.5 Gs, which are sustained for over 4 seconds. When you go through this element, you're basically feeling fighter pilot forces. After the turn, there's a fun ejector airtime hill, and if you happen to still be conscious, then you'll find sustained and enjoyable airtime. Next, the train traverses a low-to-the-ground speed hill that gives no airtime, but rather just a good sense of speed and some laterals. Then there's once again another positive G turn of death, which sends you into the craziest, snappiest, and most lateral heavy maneuver ever on a roller coaster, the S-bend. The rapid rotation on this turn gives ejector airtime. It's a moment I always have to brace for when I ride I-305. It's so crazy. Imagine Maverick, but faster, tighter, and snappier. Wow. That's followed by some more S-bends that are still fun but don't do as much as the first one. There's another intense turnaround, then a trim break. It hits kind of hard, and I honestly think it's not necessary. Because of the trim, the next 2 hills just give okay floater airtime, which leads me to ask, how does the train lose so much momentum? I mean, look at how massive the lift hill is and how small these hills are. It amazes me how much the ride slows down. Anyways, there's one more S-bend and turn, which leads you into a very steep final brake run. Compared to the rest of the ride, I think the finale is a bit underwhelming. The last snaps look crazy off-ride, but they're actually just okay. Aside from the ending, this is hands down the most intense roller coaster I've ever been on. And because of how forceful it is, the ride is considered a flop for its bad reputation of making people black out. Before I-305 was built, Cedar Fair, the company that owns King's Dominion and Cedar Point, made Millennium Force and Maverick. Since Millennium Force and Maverick were both super popular, Cedar Fair wanted something with the heights of Millie and the transitions of Maverick for KD, so I-305 was born. However, this coaster instantly got a poor rep from making people pass out due to the insane positive Gs. The result, Cedar Fair hasn't worked with Intamin since the opening of I-305. Womp womp. Anyways, now I'm going to go over the theming. This roller coaster is themed to the legendary NASCAR driver Dale Earnhardt. In the plaza for this ride, you can see a model of a race car, as well as some plaques, flags, and other light pieces of theming. The trains for this coaster resemble cars, and I really like the look of the gift shop. I-305 is in desperate need of new paint.
Oh, hell no, man. What the...
But I have a feeling the park is waiting so they can re-theme I-305. Cedar Fair's deal with the Dale Earnhardt brand is about to run out, so to save money, the chain will probably go for a new name/theme. So now I'm going to rank I-305 out of 10 based on 4 categories, starting with intensity. I don't think I really have to explain myself with this one. I-305 easily gets a 10 out of 10 for intensity. The first turn guarantees a gray out, and there's no moments to catch your breath on this ride. Second, ride smoothness. This coaster is a relatively smooth ride for how much force the track and trains have to endure. However, There is a slight rattle during some of the turns, and some transitions are a bit jerky, so the ride's smoothness, i305, gets a 7.5 out of 10. Third, duration. Compared to the other gigas out there, this ride has a short duration, but I think that makes the ride better. For how forceful this roller coaster is, I think the short ride duration is good, because if the layout were any longer, then it would start to get uncomfortable. Though it's a short ride, i305 gets an 8 out of 10 for duration. Finally, fun factor. The more I ride i305, the more I appreciate its forces and what it does. However, I'm only going to give i305 a 7 out of 10 for fun factor. Every time I ride, I feel like I'm going to pass out, which isn't my favorite feeling. I can understand those who love the sensation, but for me, I have a better time on rides like Dominator. So for Intimidator, 305's final score, it gets an 8.2 out of 10. This roller coaster is currently sitting at my number 4 spot in my overall rankings, and it's by far the most intense ride I've ever been on. So if you haven't been on it, go do yourself a favor and book a trip to King's Dominion. If you like this video, then please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching to the end, and have a good day.